I have a question for Glenn here. Glenn, tell me something that from your childhood that you're proud of that maybe nobody knows about. If you think about, first grade, fifth grade, junior high, high school, something at maybe a contest you won or an award or someone said something to you. Is there anything you could think of that maybe people don't know about you in that regard? Or you learned a language?
Well, I think they kind of know I'm geeky at a younger age. But my junior year of high school, I went to this was 1982-ish, 83. I actually, I did a computer science competition at the University of Oklahoma. So they had this big engineering day, and I didn't come in with a pencil, and I had to go in, and they said, well, you're going to have to do some calculations. I said, well, I need a pencil. I said, well, if you didn't bring a pencil, you're going to need one. They said, well, if I miss a question, it's your fault. And so they brought me a pencil.
Oh, nice.
And so as a kid, I was cocky, and,
Ooh.
And sure enough, I aced it. I was the only person in the state of Oklahoma that aced their computer science exam.
Aced it.
Aced it.
I never aced anything.
So that was kind of a cool little thing. I was pretty proud of that.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
So that was kind of my geeky thing that most people don't know about me.
I love it. That's a good one. I have one geeky thing that people don't know about me.
Okay, what's up?
Now, I had a really good friend, Steven Ranzinger. He was a genius, like you, techie geek. We took apart his dad's lawnmower and we turned it into an elevator engine for our tree fort. And we created an elevator we could hit go, fire up the lawnmower engine, and you get on the thing and it pulled you up 30 feet to this tree, which was great for a day until they decided we'd probably kill each other. And so we had to dismantle the tree elevator, but we made that.
Right.
We turned it into a go-kart. Then we put it on it and created from scratch a go-kart with that thing. The last thing we did was we created an intercom system throughout the entire neighborhood. We could talk to each other.
I'm guessing not with the engine.
Yeah, not with the engine. That was everything. But, of course, I really was just the beneficiary of Steven Ranzinger. He's a genius. But that was my foray into tech.
Right.
That's probably a fifth grader.
So question. Favorite personal development author? I'll give you three choices.
Okay.
Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, or Zig Ziglar.
For me?
Yes.
None of those, but if there was one of them, I would say Dale Carnegie of all those. I've never read a Napoleon Hill book in my life.
Okay.
Ever. I hear they're great, but I just haven't. I've chipped trying to read, what's this most favorite? It bores me to death. Think and Grow Rich bores me to death. Also the book of Wild at Heart. Everyone raves about Wild at Heart. What a book. I've read it 7 times. It puts me to sleep. And there's nothing wild about the book. It is the most boring book ever written.
No, you 7 times?
I cannot finish the book. It's boring. I'm like, there's nothing wild in here. I want something wild. It's not wild. Misleading title. My favorite author, Og Mandino, the greatest salesman that ever lived. Love that book. A little paperback, something I could read. I read it a bazillion times. I've given out 300 or 400 of them. Change your life. Changed my life. The greatest salesman that ever lived, Og Mandino. Greatest.
Speaking of Og Mandino, he was the editor of Success Magazine.
I know. Yeah.
So, of course, we're co-owners in Success Magazine.
Yeah.
And I, of course, read that book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. And he read a few books. Like, I don't remember the titles off the top of my head, but I read all of them because they were all these very story-like.
The 12th Angel.
Yeah.
It's not about angels. That sounded weird to me. I don't want to read about angels. It's not about that. It's a clever title. Read the book.
So you built a monster organization in eXp. Obviously, you saw something back in 2015 when we were less than 1,000 agents.
Yeah.
I think it was
2016. It was October 2016.
Okay, so we were just in that 2,000, 1,800, maybe 50.
Something like that. Yeah. I thought it was 1,200 when I saw it, but
okay,
my memory.
Yeah, so I think 2015 we ended up at the 894 or 864. We ended up 2,400 at the end of 2016. So
we were growing like crazy by October.
We were growing like crazy. So what was it that got you intrigued with eXp? Maybe not over the hump, but what the first...
Am I allowed to answer that honestly?
For sure.
Was not the virtual world. It was not the avatars. It was cool. It made sense to me as to why we could do what we could do because it eliminates leases and overhead. So I'm on board. It wasn't the stock. Every stock I've ever bought has gone to zero. I'm a failure in the stock market. I come from a 55-year real estate family. We buy real estate, and we buy and hold, actually. We weren't flippers. We would hold them. So I was excited about the stock. In fact, I didn't understand it. I wished it didn't exist. It was a penny stock, and people made fun of it. And it's risky. Talk to your advisor. I didn't like that. And so what excited me was, hey, I could do real estate at Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, Sotheby's, or eXp. But I'll never get revenue share at those other companies. And now I'm very excited about the stock and the equity piece. I think it's very important and genius. But you asked back then, definitely the revenue share. Definitely saw that if I go sponsor, my first year, my goal was to tell 10 or 15 agents. I'm embarrassed by that. I did 49, by the way. But I go, I'm going to do 10 or 15, and then hopefully they'll tell some of their friends, and like Keller Williams model. I go, I think it's going to work. And 1 year later, there were 875 agents. So it works really well.
And now, your organization is now how large?
We have over 30,000 people in the organization. It's been October 21st, which is in 9 days, is my 6-year anniversary at this company.
Okay, awesome.
So over 30,000.
30,000.
And then my 7 levels were coming up on 20,000 because there's people's on level 8, 9, 10, 11, it keeps going.
And obviously, it blew away what you originally thought it was going to do.
I literally go, well, if I tell 10 or 15 and they tell maybe there'll be 80 to 100 agents at the end of year one.
Yeah.
I'll make like 80,000 a year rev share, I'm thinking, right? And I'm thinking 80,000 a year is good.
Right.
And by the end of year one, yes, by the end of year one, I was making 30,000 a month, not 80,000 a year. And so, it's times 100 my wildest dreams. And we got here by loving agents, serving agents, creating culture of value. And I always say we're creating the eXp love boat. I don't know if you like it, but I say it a lot. It's about loving, serving, caring. And that's what a recruiter is. People say, oh, you want to be a recruiter? But I'm like, really? If you're not a recruiter, that means you're just serving yourself. And recruiters serve others. They help others. They love others. No one's going to join you unless you're kind and you actually help them.
Right.
And if they get them in, then you move on like a timeshare. You got to help them succeed once you get them in. That's just the beginning. It's been amazing. It's been life-changing.
You're a retainer.
A retainer, yes. Again, you got to create the love boat, a culture of love where people feel cared for and respected and valued.
Right.
And we go to the mat for anybody, a brand new agent. We care about the little guy. As soon as we lose the little guy, we don't care about the little guy. Right. We're done. I know last January we were in Puerto Rico, and a bunch of us leaders were like, let's raise the fees $15 an agent. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's the only time I've seen you get a little red in the face. You're a very calm, cool customer. You're like, and everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. We'll raise some money for a certain thing we want to do. And you stood up, you go, I'm glad you guys all like this, but I can tell you this, we are not raising the fees. That's like not going to happen. We're like, okay. That's the only time I've seen you like non-collaborative and it is committed. That's a honorable thing. I love it.
There's a ebb and flow for a yin and a yang that happens in any organization. And there's, and so there's some people who are going to be like, let's give it all away. And there's other people that are going to say, let's charge for it. And someplace in the middle is the sweet spot. And then someone's got to fight for the sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, what are we, $85 a month in the U.S.? I know it's different things, other things. But I mean, if you can't afford $85 a month, probably should be in real estate.
Right.
I know you spend more than that a month on these little babies.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because we actually, there are people that charge less money than us. There's people that have lower splits. So some people that have no splits, they're 100% competent. And so for us, it was like, how do we find a model where we don't lose money, but we don't make a lot either? Where's that spot where we can grow and impact the most agents? We still need to make a little bit of profit so you can actually expand. If there's no profit, there's no oxygen.
Yeah.
So
oxygen is important.
Oxygen is important. But it doesn't have to be a lot because if it can run on really thin margins, then you're going to be able to impact a lot of people And that's the real goal.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you got a lot of people, there's going to be so many other ways that you can sort of monetize that over time.
Yeah.
That will then provide the rewards as long as you're adding value.
Yes. And that's John Maxwell, right?
Yeah.
Add value. Be a life enhancer, not a well poisoner. So I agree 100%. I mean, the future's bright. We're going to hit 200,000 agents, I think, quickly in the next 24 to 48 months. It's going to be there. We're going to ring that bell, become the largest real estate brokerage in the world. Congratulations.
Okay.
And that's just the beginning. That's just the step. So pretty awesome.
Fred, thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
If you're interested in eXp Realty, make sure to check out join.exprealty.com.